My name is Roger Graves. I'm one of the authors of A Concise Guide to Technical Communication and also The Strategic Guide to Technical Communication, both from Broadview, and our new book that's coming out, Rhetorical Situations. So business communication, rhetorical situations. I guess part of the way, the thing you need to hear about that or to know about those books is really that they came from our teaching back in, really starting in the 1990s and then for the last 20 years of business communication and technical communication. The Concise Guide, which just came out in the fall, is really your book. It came from instructors who talked to the reps and said, hey, we like this book. Is there a shorter version that you could do as well? And so they came to us with that, and we said, all right, let's do that. And as Dorothy Parker once advised people to do, is kill your darlings. Well, we took a 330 page book and made it into a 170 page book. So there was a lot of killing of darlings that went on there. But we really said to ourselves, all right, what can we do to cut this book down as much as possible? What are the absolute essential things that we're trying to communicate to people about, say, using visuals? And so how do we do that? And so that's the result from that. And so it was a long process of doing that, but it really got down to it. If you're looking for more of an explanation, if you think your students need more of an explanation, the strategic guide will still do that. But if you're looking for something which is just get the absolute minimum that people need, then the Concise Guide is really going to do that best. And really the genesis of the Strategic Guide came from me trying to use the 600 or 700 page books, technical communication books, those big behemoths that are out there. And students telling me, I tried that once at DePaul University one term because I thought I wasn't giving them enough or whatever. And the students came back with a resounding, we hate this book. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, won't do that again. And really that's where the Strategic Guide came from, which was half the size of those books. And now we've gone down and said, can we do even less than that? So the Concise Guide is that. I have a podcast. It's called Teaching Writing Ideas and Strategies. The links are also on our website, wecanwrite.ca. But if you look there, you'll find there's an author interview that I did with Heather on the Concise Guide. And so that will give you a really good look at what's in there. And it's our motivations for putting that book out and what we were trying to achieve through it. The other book, the new one that's coming out, Business Communication, Rhetorical Situations, that's a book we've been working on since about 2006, 2008. And it's been a real labor of love. We've endured more than 40 different reviews of this and getting all kinds of conflicting information over a decade. And so basically we've redid that and retooled that entire book. It came from, some of our reading and things like Cases in Technical Communication, this book. When I taught at Western Ontario University, it's called Western University now, Learning with Cases, I came across that book. And of course there's the infamous Harvard case study materials. And so we looked at those things and we said, well, what can we do with that concept? We know that problem-based learning is a good thing and cases are a good thing, but business cases themselves are just too long for a business communication book for undergraduates. So we said, all right, let's try to take the essence of that, the narratives and the stories of that, and try to put that into something that a chapter that also has the information that they need. So from an instructor perspective, you're going to have slides, you're going to have quizzes. But as students read through the chapter, they encounter 2 or 3 of these narratives or stories. And those stories show them these principles in action. They present a problem that the person in the story has to solve, and then they ask the student to solve that problem. It's a communication problem, obviously. And so that's the essence of that book. That's how it's different than the other books that you're going to find out there. Again, we're going to have we do have podcast episodes for every chapter in the Concise Guide. And what that is, it's just a 5 to 10 minute, hey, here's what's going on in the chapter. Here's what to look for if you're an instructor. Here's what's coming up. If you're a student, I think it might be useful to students. I haven't tried that myself, obviously, but I think that maybe if you should let them listen to the podcast episode, they might see, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're supposed to be doing. How, as a learner, this is what I'm supposed to be up to here. So it might be useful that way too. We're going to create those for the Business Communication and Rhetorical Situations book as well. They will be done for sure by August. So that's a bit of an overview of the two books and what we've been up to. Thanks for listening or viewing this far. And I hope you check out the podcast. There's been 25 or 30,000 listens to the podcast. So it's right, I don't know, more than 50 countries around the world and so on, which is just like, okay, that's crazy, but there it is. So people are finding value there. And the other thing I might add is that regardless of whether you adopt the books or not, if you go to the wecanwrite.ca page for the books, you'll see a bunch of different podcasts which were for instructors to help them with their writing. And so there might be some value there too. So definitely check that out, and thanks for considering the books and for checking in with us.